As a high performer, I spent years trying to handle everything on my own. I kept pretending that I was fine. I was swallowing the fear, the anxiety, the nervousness. And I literally told myself constantly, you should be able to figure this out. You should be somewhere else already. So I was beating myself up in addition. And that belief, it literally nearly broke me because it pushed me even harder when I was already pushing myself super hard. And now, as I'm coaching high performers, I see the same pattern every single day. They are pushing themselves to do everything on their own, alone, to figure it out for themselves until they nearly break. They self-sabotage trying to carry everything on their own. And while men do this too, I see it especially in high performing women. This belief that we have to do everything on our own. Otherwise what? We're a failure. So if you're tired of overthinking, spiraling, or doubting yourself, if you think you should be stronger than this and you should be able to figure this out on your own, then this video is for you because it will teach you what to do. It will make you understand if you're that kind of person. It will help you to understand what to do instead and what benefits you're actually completely missing out on right now. Because thinking you have to do everything on your own is literally a form of high-performing self-sabotage. Now let me break that down for you. Hi, my name is Fela Rosa and welcome to the Corporate Warriors podcast. If you are new here, this channel is for high performers that are currently in toxic workplaces, and I help you break free and use that as a catalyst for your career instead of your final chapter in your career. So if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and check out the links in the caption. And now let's get a little bit personal. How was it for me? I am literally telling you, I was in the exact same situation. I was literally telling myself all that BS. I told myself I don't want to burden anybody. I told myself I've survived worse. And when a friend, literally one of my best friends, a high-performing woman herself, told me, Fela, I think you should talk to XYZ person to get some support, I was telling her, I think I'm gonna get fired, so I cannot invest any money right now. So believe me, I get it. Deep down, I know how it was. And luckily, I had like a mean German best friend that was telling me the truth in my eyes. And I know that not everybody has this kind of friend. So I'm going to be that friend for you, okay? And I'm not making this up. I would like to tag her. I'm not sure she would appreciate it. But she told me, this is not a money problem. What is the problem if you stay there, if you stay stuck in this moment? What will happen in the long term? You know that this is so much worse. And she was triggering me so freaking hard. And because I already was, doing inner work and like doing a lot of personal development, I knew that if I'm triggered, it has something to do with me, something to do with inside of me. And my problem that I had in my mind, if I went down this rabbit hole of thinking I get fired and then I don't have money, and I cannot pay this. It was not a problem of a few hundred, even $1,000, let's be honest. I was not that broke, but my anxiety completely took over and was like, no, don't do anything. When it was complete BS, because staying trapped in this situation, that was the problem. And she was triggering me so hard on this that I basically, in the call with her already, I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna do it. To send me the contact. And to tell you the truth, yes, this was the moment that changed everything for me. And she knows that now. I'm very thankful for her and her mean German girlfriend vibe. So now let's understand, why do high performers, especially high performing women, stay stuck in the same freaking self-sabotage patterns all the time? If you ask me, I think that I have to do this alone, or I have to figure out this on my own, is one of the most expensive forms of self-sabotage that high performers can actually abide by. And here are the 5 reasons why. Number 1, it definitely keeps you stuck in the survival mode. Because right now you're not acting from your best self, you're not acting from your true best professional self. Because professionally, if you'd made the same decision in your company, you would tell the people that we need some outside perspective in order to really create some innovation here. But instead, you decide to believe and abide by your anxiety. And what does it do? It creates a spiral where you're going down even more survival mode, because yes, now you are stuck. You do not have the strategies right now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in that situation anymore. So something is blocking you that you cannot see, because it's you. It's a part of you that is blocking you. Did you hear what I'm saying? So you're staying in survival mode. And if we stay too long in survival mode, what will happen? It's a downward spiral of more and more anxiety, more survival thoughts. The situation, let me tell you this, it will not get better. It will get worse and worse and worse. So your survival mode, your anxiety will get worse and worse and worse too. And that is not a question of being strong. So delete that from your brain. That has nothing to do with being strong or being weak. This is to do with understanding your own patterns and interrupting the patterns if they're not in your favor. And survival mode anxiety never is. Now, why is the second reason that people stay stuck? It's because it protects your freaking ego. I know that hurts, okay, but hear me out. If you're a high performer, your ego has been built up over years because you had a lot of successes, and it's a normal and natural process that with each success, your ego rises a little bit. It's nothing bad. I don't blame the ego, but I blame you because you are the CEO of your own life and career. So why would you hand over all decision-making power to your ego? It doesn't make any freaking sense. And it comes at a huge cost because your ego is not necessarily your best consultant, and you shouldn't hand over all decision-making to that. Reason number 3, why that is actually the case, very, very often it leads us back to childhood conditioning. Very often. Perhaps you are a high performer right now because when you were younger, you took on more responsibility that you should have. And you told yourself, I need to be the strong one. I need to figure this out. And you did. But it was based on survival. It was not how it was supposed to be. Okay, so don't blame yourself for it. Don't beat yourself up. That's not at all. But I want to create the awareness around it to enable you to make a move. So if you were the one handling everything on your own, not being the one that needed to ask for support, for advice, perhaps you had a sibling that had special needs. So you took a step back and you didn't want to ask your parents anymore. Perhaps one parent was missing or one parent was dysfunctional and you stepped into that role. So you needed to figure out everything on your own, even though you were a child, and you should have been treated like one. So I'm sorry if you had to go through this, but we cannot maintain this pattern. It is not helpful. It wasn't healthy back then and it is not healthy right now, okay? Because now we're at reason number 4, why you sabotage yourself like this. And there's a part of you that thinks getting support is failure. And what does it do? It makes you believe when you read the news, you see the job environment is difficult. Yes, sure, for a normal person. What about a high performer? Do you think some high performers might still be needed? I think you know it too. But right now, you're not stepping in and deciding from your best version. And that is the problem. That is what's happening when you're staying stuck in toxic workplaces. Over time, you're being brainwashed to think you're not as good as you knew deep, deep down that you always were. And that is a huge additional cost. And lastly, that self-sabotage then leads to decision paralysis or analysis paralysis, right? And a reason for that is that deep down you also know when you just think about your fears, it seems to be really logic. But when you speak them out loud, you understand that they are not powerful facts or you being super neutral and able to observe the situation. It's actually you abiding by fears and acting from survival. When in reality, we both know that this will not get you anywhere. All important life decisions, let's just say marriage, should not be done out of fear. They should not be done out of a self-sabotaging pattern. They should come from a place of loving yourself and wanting the best for yourself and enjoying the process, right? So how can you actually spot this pattern? Let's move on, right? So that we can actually go out of just explaining, understanding, also something that high performers love, to actually understanding, is this me? Is this me too? This is an important one, and this is the one that hurts the most. I know it. So let's rip off that band-aid real fast. So if you're soothing yourself with one of these phrases that I'm gonna tell you right now, then very, very likely you're stuck in thinking that you have to do it alone. Recurring thoughts might be, I don't want to bother anyone. I can do this. I went through worse. I just need a little bit more time, or I invest later when things calm down. Well, spoiler alert, they always get worse. They do not calm down. Or my absolute favorite, it's not that bad yet. I'm like, oh my God, how bad does it need to get? Really. So, what is at the root cause of it? Let's dig into that. Is one of those sentences resonated with you? You owe it to yourself to understand where it actually comes from so that you can make a move on the core, on the root of the issue. And it might be as sad that during your childhood, you had to step in and take on way more responsibility that you should have. So you created that pattern, that belief for yourself that I need to figure everything out on my own. I need to fix everything on my own because I don't get support. And perhaps you even made the conclusion for yourself back in the days that you are not worthy of support or you're not worthy of asking for support. Perhaps you were also overly praised for being independent. Now, independence is a great thing, and this is not about taking away independence, but it's questioning, is this functional or dysfunctional right now? So they're not feeling enough, they're not feeling worthy of it deep down. That is a pattern that you need to and can break, because this pattern has multiple negative ripple effects in many areas of your life. So tackling that now through the inner work is actually something that will help you in many different areas. Basically, for everything that you do, if you change the deep down belief in your subconscious mind, you will show up as a whole new person and version, which is exactly what we're doing in the program, where we reset and use this toxic boss moment for the career catalyst and life catalyst that it could be. I mean, just imagine you'd flip that thing around, and instead of having it in your memory as the worst moment ever, you can flip that to your breakthrough moment. If you want to take a look and see how we're doing this in the program, just click the link down below and see for yourself. So for me, the moment that everything was shifting was the moment I realized that this triggers me so much that this is not normal. I knew that triggers always have to do something with myself and very little with the other person. So I knew that this is really a blind spot. And I felt so triggered that on the other side, my more professional self, my more developed self told me, you have to do it now because it triggers you so much. So you need to look behind the trigger, because I already knew that behind the biggest triggers and behind the biggest fears is always the biggest growth potential. So what happened next? I did do the coaching. And you know what? My anxiety calmed down. I had emotional releases of emotions that I didn't even know I had inside of me. And I healed myself in the process. So I did come out stronger. I would sign that on any kind of statement, because that's the truth. That's how I really was feeling. So if you're a high performer out there suffering from a toxic boss, yes, of course, yes, you can hold it out longer. Yes, you can stay where you are. Yes, you can stay just a little bit longer. Yes, you can make it until the end of the month, and you can make it until the end of the year, and you can drag yourself in 2026 suffering each and every single day. It is a possibility. I don't say you can't do it. I just ask you, what is this actually costing you in your career and in your private life? Because you can also use this exact moment in time and decide that this is your moment, the moment that you finally step up for yourself and do the inner work, because this toxic boss triggered something inside of you. And if you decide to take a look at it and to heal that part of you that believed them, you will decrease the probability of ever working for a toxic boss in a long term to like 5% or 0 to 5%, because you don't act from the same pattern. You will not get stuck in toxicity anymore. You will not suffer the way you are suffering right now ever again, because the wound inside of you has been healed. And if you're thinking, I don't have a wound or anything, let's be honest, toxic bosses leave scars. And even if your whole life was perfect up until now and you had this first toxic boss, there are some pain points, some wounds being created right now, and they deserve healing. And then from that place of empowerment, we create a future that actually excites you, because you are a freaking high performer and you deserve the best career. You do not deserve to suffer. I want you to be the leader that you were always supposed to be the positive role model out there in a corporate world that needs you so badly. You cannot get stuck under a toxic boss. You cannot continue to self-sabotage. It comes at a cost for you, it comes at a cost for your family and friends, and it comes at a cost for the potential that you're missing, because this evolved leader that went through it and got themselves out of it is an inspiration for thousands of people. The ripple effects are tremendous that we're missing out on right now. So if you're just a little bit curious, about how that could look like, please click the link down below. You'll understand what we're doing exactly in the group program, and you'll understand why this matters to you as well. You can see what some past clients have told me, how that made a shift and change for them. And please remember, this could be the moment that everything shifts and everything changes. The last thing that you need to do for yourself, where you literally, it's you who has to do it, it's you who has to make the decision that you're worthy of this, is click down below, check it out. And if it resonates, just fill out the form. There's nothing to lose here, but plenty to gain. I would truly love to see you inside Toxic Boss Reset, the program that will bring you to the next level and make this horrible moment a career catalyst for yourself. I am rooting for you from the bottom of my heart. I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye.